Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Lisa. I'm Spiritual Coach Lisa Ha. It is Sunday, April 12th, 2020. For those of you who celebrated Passover this week, happy Passover. And for all the Christians who listen to me, happy Easter. Today's topic is based on this magnificent day. It is my second favorite holiday after Halloween, and I don't mean to offend. I love Easter because it is time for me of renewal, of rebirth, as if the earth has died over the winter, and then now the flowers are blooming, and flowers that are only seasonal to this time. I just love it. It's like the earth comes back to life. And this year, the earth is coming back to life more than maybe it ever has. Because we're all shut down, for the most part, the earth has had the opportunity to revamp itself, to heal, to be reborn, just as it is hoped that we'll be reborn and rebirthed during this time. The oceans have become cleaner. The major cities have lost their fog and their smog and their other forms of pollution. India is sunny with blue skies now and clear breathing. Los Angeles is clearer than it's been in a very long time. The earth is taking a collective breath. I wondered to myself spiritually, intuitively. I always knew that there was a divine reason for this pandemic. As I've said in my previous podcast, it had a divine purpose of bringing us together, of causing us to shift internally, and to get us ready also for the shift and change of heaven trying to come to earth. But there is another divine purpose to this pandemic. And it doesn't mean, by the way, that it's all good and there isn't negatives, because of course people have passed, people have suffered, people are suffering now financially, they have worry, they have stress, they have anxiety, more so than they've had before. So I don't want to sugarcoat it. I just always have to look. I'm built within to look for what is the purpose? Where are the helpers? And that's the purpose of this podcast, to bring that knowing to you, so that you can hopefully see that as well. It makes life more bearable if we know there is a purpose to things that happen. So an extra purpose of this pandemic, it's almost as if our Creator said, they're moving too slow in saving their earth. They're literally self-destructing themselves through wiping out their resources, through fracking, just demolishing. And we were honestly giving ourselves less time on this earth. And yes, perhaps the shorelines will still change and other things will still happen, but I really feel like our divine creator, our divine source said, there are not only good purposes to this pandemic of shifting mankind, but the opportunity can also be taken to shift the earth as well as a whole. And in many ways, through this sad time, we overall acquire life. And a lot of us aren't even realizing it. Some are awakening to it, but some are just thinking of their immediate environments and the kids being home and the new structures. Many, maybe about half, are looking forward to it being back to the way it was again, but not understanding it'll never go fully back to the way it was again, because most of us have changed inside. We're just going to be different now. We're not going to put up with people anymore that live from lower consciousness. We're going to figure out how to help each other more. We're going to see that we don't need as many resources to use. Perhaps, possibly, life becomes simpler. And yes, of course, there will be some back to normal. But still, will we ever be the same? So this is an incredibly poignant and more symbolic than ever Easter Sunday. Because as we are rebirthed, naturally through Easter Sunday, the earth is rebirthing, our souls are rebirthing. It's like we're going back to who we were meant to become. This week, I loved, personally, the ability to attend virtual masses. I'd never, in my memory, been to a Holy Thursday. Actually, I think I have, because the incense used to make me unwell. Very unwell. But so let's say as an adult, I have not been to a Holy Thursday. I don't believe I've ever been to a Good Friday Mass. I'd always gone to the Easter visuals on Saturday night. Not so much Easter Sundays. They were always packed. I sound like a whiner, don't I? I prefer the Saturday night visual to the Easter Sunday packing. But this week, I got to be a part of all of them and participate from the sanctity and the intimacy and the quiet of my own living room. And many people don't remember, I think. I wonder if you remember, and I'm talking specifically to the Christians at this moment. The church literally got started after Jesus' crucifixion with the apostles in a private room hiding away from authorities. Not with 2,000 people outside. Not with a crowded church. But in the sanctity of a small room, hidden away. That is where the church was started. That is where it was formed on a rock. That is where their faith was grown, seeded, and prospered. And then they set out again. So it's almost as if this time is meant to go back to basics. And how many of you have felt that? that you're back to basics. Like me, perhaps you're emptying out your freezer rather than run to the store constantly. Maybe you're learning cooking for the first time, discovering wonderful things about yourself. Maybe you didn't know you could make a mask, and now you can. Maybe you are sitting here today with me, not realizing before this time how wonderful your relationship was with your spouse. Maybe you're getting to know each other in a new way. And there's growth there that wouldn't have happened unless you were stuck together. Maybe some of you are growing because you are stuck with someone, and you have to grow to a point where you don't do them in. So you're growing qualities you wouldn't have otherwise grown. But you're going to use those qualities later to conquer obstacles and pinnacles, and they will support you later. So I feel that this is a magnificent time. It's a time when we can grow our faith privately, in a simple way, in an intimate way, like never before. Those who have not had access, who haven't been able to go to church, now have more at their disposal. Think about that. The elderly person who couldn't get out used to only have Sunday morning at 5:30 a.m. service on the local TV channel. Not now. They have more at their disposal as well. Wonderful. How many of you have experienced miracles this week? Or seen miracles in action? Did someone come through for you? Did you have the ability to come through for someone else? Which is even more of a miracle. It is a testament this time to our strength, to our empowerment, to our integrity, to our ability to survive. And there's so much going on that is monumental. And when we come out of this, most of us, the earth will have had a deep breath. And it will be even more beautiful than we left it. And maybe some of us, not me, happy to say not me, and maybe some of us will come out of it a little larger. But you would have grown qualities during this time. You would have evolved. You would have shifted. So you're going to come out of this better too. And so on this Easter Sunday, make it, if you will, all of you of every religion or non-religion, make it a day more so of renewal, of blank slates, of making intentions. This is your spring awakening. What would you like to sprout? What would you like to grow? This is your time. Make the lists. Start the projects. Do you want to learn something? Do you just want to enjoy a concert? Do you want to learn an instrument? Do you want to take a class? There's so much available to us at this time. A time like no other. Who do you want to be when we are freed again from our structures? This is a time to work on that now. And it can be amazing. When I was younger, and even today, last night I was watching, it was a movie. It was a movie about Mary Magdalene, and it had Joaquin Phoenix in it, a magnificent actor. He played Jesus. Yes, he's a little bit older, but he still was very good in it. And I was grateful because I could tell there was violence coming with the crucifixion of him. But it was only brief. And so it was okay. I've always been troubled by our focus on the violence of Good Friday and the violence that happened to Jesus. To focus on his death, when I always knew in my heart and soul that the focus was not to be on his death, but on his resurrection. The purpose of it was to show eternal life. That gift of eternal life. And so I always chose, even as a very young child, to focus on Sunday. And I would take a moment, I would always spend 3 hours on Good Friday, and I would always be meditative and have a certain somberness, but it was always about Easter Sunday for me. And I always have to know, I always have to have answers. And so many years ago, decades ago, I had to know what was the purpose. Because I'm sorry, I didn't believe that a loving God would sacrifice someone in order for people to get to heaven. Once again, being it more about the violence. The way it can be sold to us at times. I knew there was something more positive and loving in the purpose of Easter Sunday. Because we're often told it's about Good Friday. It's all about Good Friday. But my answer was not. It was about Good Friday. It was really about the opening of that tomb and the rebirth. And that's what's wanted for us, always. To rebirth, to bloom, to restore. It's a gift that's given to us not only every year, but every day. Every day you can wake up and be in a place of resurrection. Every day you can renew again. As long as you get up and you're breathing, it's a fresh start. Easter Sunday is about life. Easter is about life. the sanctity of it, the blessing of it, the gift of it. Today, take a deep breath. Deep breath. And marvel in the magnificence and the gift of your life. Honor it. Be grateful for it. And then do magnificent things this week with it. All in the name of that gift that is given to all of us, no matter what religion we are. The gift of Easter Sunday. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're coming back, thank you so much for your support. Please like, subscribe, and share this podcast if you do feel drawn to do that. For those of you who are discovering me new, thank you so much. Welcome. Please check out my website at lisahopp.com. That's lisahopp.com. Phone and Zoom sessions are available. There's even shorter sessions available for those of you who are currently not with employment. And so I hope that you will check that out. There's also channeled messages too you can order from the angels, from the spirit guides, from our ascended masters, whatever you feel drawn to. Also check out my YouTube channel under Spiritual Coach Lisa Hopp. Thank you again for joining me. Many blessings on this beautiful Easter Sunday. I hope that it gives you all that you would hope for. Thank you again. Many blessings.